The total market cap for all cryptocurrencies topped out at just over $3 trillion back in November 2021. And although Bitcoin has gone up into new all-time highs, we have only seen the total market cap for all cryptocurrencies topping out at $2.721 trillion so far. Now, if we take Bitcoin out of the equation and we take a look at all altcoins, including Ethereum, we can see that back in November of 2021, we saw a $1.7 trillion market. And most recently, we've only topped out at $1.271 trillion. If we take Ethereum out of the equation, we can see that all other cryptocurrencies, altcoins, were at $1.13 trillion back in November of 2021. And so far, we've only topped out at $788 billion. And this is the purpose of today's video, to talk about the altcoins and how they have been lagging behind that of Bitcoin. And I do think we are likely to see a bit of a pivot and a turn in the market in the coming months where the altcoins gain some serious traction on the crypto market. Guys, let's roll that intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video update. My name is Nick and welcome to Cheeky Crypto. If you are new, subscribe. And if you do find today's video useful and informative, smash that like button. Let's jump right down into today's video, right? Everyone knows about market cap. Market cap is a really simplistic way of trying to ascertain how big a project is, right? Essentially what happens here is you take the circulating supply of the cryptocurrency and you multiply it by the price and you end up with its market cap, right? It's market capitalization. Now, in the traditional kind of stock market, this is usually based on the value that a company brings to the table, right? So let's take Microsoft or Apple or Tesla, for example. They'll have their yearly earning reports and that will help increase or decrease the price of their stock. So the capital, the market cap itself, generally reflects the position of the stock. Now, in the crypto market, obviously we don't have the same level of ownership around these things, and instead the market cap is very, very loose at best, specifically as we see new issuance, new supply coming in, and sometimes there's deflationary mechanisms as well as inflationary mechanisms and so forth. And so the market cap in itself is very fluid, it's very loose, and it doesn't help to kind of see it as a value. Okay, market cap doesn't really give you that idea. It shows you an idea of value without actually presenting value. And it's very important that we understand these fundamental basics because really looking at market cap can be quite misleading. Now, in today's video, we're going to be looking at top level market cap. And this is actually quite useful when you take a look at it from a top level point of view, all cryptocurrencies, strip out Bitcoin, strip out Ethereum, that kind of stuff. But when you kind of look at an individual project, specifically lower cap ones, so micro cap coins, let's say less than 100 million or less than $10 million in market cap, the volatility is so extreme, you're not really going to be drawing any decent conclusions. Bitcoin, Ethereum, top 10, top maybe 100 projects, you can argue market cap is a reasonable way of trying to ascertain whether or not something has legs to it. But you have to also understand that because of how simplistic it is, it can be manipulated from time to time. Now, what we have right here is basically the total market cap of all cryptocurrencies through Bitcoin all the way through to your newly issued meme coin nonsense that you see in the space. Now, we did see fantastic growth in the previous bullish market, over $3 trillion in market cap. That was to mean that there were $3 trillion there that you could just extract from the market. It's actually significantly less than that. Market cap in itself overinflates the idea of liquidity, and you shouldn't mix market cap with the idea of liquidity. They're two very different things. Liquidity is very important in terms of any market, and it's all to do with how liquid it is to kind of trade in and out of whatever it might be, whether that is gold, silver, stock market, or cryptocurrencies, right? Liquidity is very important. It's right up there alongside that of supply and demand. These are very important things because they help you understand whether or not price is going to move. And if you understand supply demand and you understand liquidity, you'll probably have a good grasp on smart money concepts. Now, why am I talking about all of this today? Well, I'm talking about all of this today because we take a look at these charts, total market cap, total 2 market cap, total 3 market cap, and these are showing us a few interesting things I wanted to kind of spend some time talking about today. So here on our total market cap level, we can see that we haven't yet gone up into new all-time highs. Okay, this is an indication that although Bitcoin has done well, there still isn't a lot of demand for the altcoin market. Okay, and this is an indication that maybe this bullish market has only really just started. Okay, and we still have significant time in the market to kind of see great potential moves to the upside. Some people will counter this and just say because there's a lack of demand, maybe this bullish market is over and we're actually going to be going down into another bear market and we're going to be dropping down significantly lower than maybe we've ever kind of thought was possible before. And these things are, although technically true and can be seen as all possibilities are technically valid, I think it's very unlikely to be the case. From a probability point of view, I actually look for us to continue rallying, and we do look for Bitcoin, we do look for Ethereum, we do look for the altcoins to actually move on to significant new all-time highs. Now, if we take a look at Bitcoin, crypto, the entire crypto market as a whole, we can see that we're $287 billion away from a new all-time high. This is about 10.58%. So we're not actually a million miles away from going up into a new all-time high from a total crypto point of view. However, when we start to jump down and we strip out Bitcoin from the equation, that gap starts to widen. So here we can see that if you take Bitcoin out of the equation, we had a total market cap back in November of 2021 that was $1.7 trillion. Most recently, we've topped out at $1.27 trillion, and this is a bit of a gap, okay? So it's coming in at about $436.4 billion, a gap of 34.35%. So we know that basically Bitcoin is leading the way. And this is because we've seen the Bitcoin spot ETFs, and we have essentially seen new stock market money coming into the ETFs, which then soaks up actual BTC, goes into the custody of Coinbase. Okay, that has an effect on the supply demand and prices pushed up more aggressively. Okay, so it's really clear and very clear example of supply demand and how it is affecting price and why we see Bitcoin moving the way that it has done and not necessarily that of the altcoins. Okay, so the next thing that we obviously have coming up most recently is going to be the Ethereum spot ETF, right? And I do think we're going to see this in June. We're going to see the products launching probably in June. And I do think that's going to have a profound effect on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the altcoins in lots of different ways. We potentially do see Bitcoin spot ETFs with people flowing out of those into the Ethereum spot ETF within the stock market. And then, of course, you'll see the kind of crypto folk kind of going into Ethereum, FOMOing into that as well. Now, from the altcoins point of view, outside of Ethereum, I do see layer 2s and things like that for Ethereum doing incredibly well as well. And I've spoken about that a couple of times. If we take a look at all crypto minus Bitcoin minus Ethereum, we did have a total market cap of $1.13 trillion back in November of 2021. Most recently, our swing high is at $788 billion. So we do find ourselves with a fair amount of slippage here as well. Okay, of a sum of around $342 billion, 43.41%. So again, what are we talking about? Well, we can see that Bitcoin's performed really well. And as such, the total market cap of all cryptocurrencies has ballooned up to over $2.7 trillion. However, when we take Bitcoin out of the equation, we note that altcoins like Ethereum and like layer 2s and all the meme coins, all of that stuff, they haven't performed as well. And this is because money hasn't really gone into crypto. It's kind of gone in from the stock market into an ETF. The ETF has bought the Bitcoin and has put it into self-custody of Coinbase. Okay, so it's important to note that that money has never really gone into crypto as such. It's kind of gone into the ETF. The ETF has bought the crypto. Okay, and very important that we understand the mechanics of this and the rationale as to what happens during that process, because that money is very unlikely to roll out of the ETFs into Ethereum, into altcoins in the crypto market. Instead, you need fresh demand, fresh users within the Web3 space, right? This is talk about adoption and all that kind of stuff. Now, the Ethereum spot ETF, which I do think will go live soon, is going to be an interesting play where we might see money rolling out of Bitcoin into the Ethereum spot ETFs. And then you might see some of the more fresh demand, or the demand that's currently existing inside the Web3 space, going after some of the altcoins around that as well. Okay, so it's interesting. We can clearly see from 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 just how much of an impact Bitcoin has had, versus that of the altcoins. Now, if we take Ethereum out of the equation, again, we end up in some interesting territory. Here you can see that we had the previous all-time high in November of 2021 at 1.31 trillion. We can see that we most recently topped out at $788 billion. Okay, and this is a whopping $342.42 billion down, 43.41%. Okay, so we note that we have got significant differences here between 𝗕𝗘2, and 𝗕𝗘3, and the impacts of Bitcoin spot ETF, Ethereum spot ETFs, and maybe in the future we'll see a few other altcoins getting ETFs, which I do think is an inevitability as well, such as Solana, Cardano, XRP, just to name a few, right? And I do think we're going to see that. But for now, what I want to talk about is the potential here is still very much there when it comes to the altcoin market. Bitcoin's already had a pretty significant run and is close to pushing up into new all-time highs again. And we can see Bitcoin potentially topping out between that 110, 120. Maybe it will do a little bit more, which will be fantastic if it does. Ethereum, I think, has got a lot of potential still. It's going to have its breakout. It's going to see 𝗕𝗘2 also explode, probably up into new all-time highs from that market cap point of view. But the main bulk of altcoins, I think we're going to see a consolidation of, and we're going to see, some fantastic potential returns on investments. But I do think we have to see an end to the meme coin nonsense where, 0.1% of people make money and, 99.9% of people will lose money, right? That is, one of the things I think has to be regulated out of this space. We need projects with utility, not projects without utility. Okay, if we really want to see adoption, which will bring in demand, and we already have the mechanics of the supply elements to be squeezed. So if we want to see true long-term potential gains, something similar to like the .com era, then we need to put an end to some of the nonsense in the space, like meme coins, because they haven't really got any good there's no real good stories behind them. There's basically just thousands upon thousands, if not millions of people who are getting wrecked, and only really a handful of really loud people talking about how great they are. People who are basically raking in millions on the back of everyday working individuals, right? So I think that stuff, has to be either regulated out or put to bed, and people need to wise up to what's going on there. Projects with utility where there's actually a real world use case, real world assets are a clear example of this. DeFi is another. We might start to actually see true adoption, which will bring in huge amounts of demand, and we'll see significant returns in the long term. Okay, and I think altcoins are going to see more speculative investment over the next 12, 24 months. We're going to see fantastic returns, massive runs to the upside, and I do expect new all-time highs on 𝗕𝗘2, 𝗕𝗘3, and by market cap, and all of that wonderful stuff. I don't think we're going to be seeing mass adoption anytime soon when it comes to crypto, but I do want to urge everyone to understand the technology aspect of here and why this stuff is really important. There's so many things that have happened over the years that is the reason that this technology exists today, and it's important that we understand where this came from and why it's important, and try to push that movement forward. Now, I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, Ethereum maxi, altcoin maxi. I'm not a maxi of any kind. I'm not married to any one particular altcoin or position. Ultimately, in this market, I'm looking for logical reasons as to why the market should mature, and with that, my investments with it, right? Like you would with any stock market play, any kind of understanding of between like diamonds, silver, platinum, gold, whatever it may be, whether it's real estate, whatever your investment decisions are, your diversifications are, it's important that we approach crypto in a very similar way and try not to get dragged into a lot of that meme coin nonsense along the way. You can let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of this in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think it's all about meme coins and I'm just missing a trick? Let me know in the comments below. If you found today's video useful, smash the like like button if you're new, subscribe, and check this video out if you haven't done so already, where we discuss a little bit more about what's going on in the crypto space.